Hi Aquarius, we're going to get into your reading. I actually already started it once and it got a little chaotic and a little messy and a little all over the place. I'm not saying bad, but we're just going to start it over. So here we go. Let's see what's coming out. Night came out then as well. And here we have balance, and this makes a lot more sense to me. So it's interesting because when I started your reading, the energy felt kind of calm. And then right after that, it felt really chaotic. And then it was just two stories, meaning there was this calmness and then there was this chaos, and there wasn't really any meeting in the middle. And that has to be a part of your story as well. So part of what we're looking at here, Aquarius, is how to balance the tamasic and registic sides of the scale. What that means is passion, drive, determination, and then this kind of hermit mode. It's like you're going from one to another. Now, this could be physically, mentally, emotionally, or you could be in a place that you can't do it physically because you have to work. You have children to care for, pets to care for, people you're responsible for. So it might be the way you plug into people, or it might just be your willingness, right, to... Oh, Aquarius, this really feels like you're trying to control it. I mean, control is a great thing, but sometimes it doesn't work in our favor. Let's go ahead and look into this a little bit more. Wrong deck, I hear. Interesting. Okay, so we're gonna go to this one. Okay, balance 4. This is what Spirit wants to talk about. Softening a sense of control. And Spirit is not saying there's a lot you can control, but there's something that wants to unfold, something that wants to actually become easier, is the feeling I'm getting. I'm being shown this. Okay, so there's this really funny, I don't know if it's like a meme, I don't know what it is, but it's hilarious. And this kid, oh, there's two of them. Yeah, so this kid is holding on to this, like a line that's going through the water, probably for like buoys, but he's holding on to it and the water is going under him, and he's terrified because he thinks he's going to drown, but all he has to do is put his feet down, right? And then, oh yeah, the 4 of Cups, exactly. And then there's another one with a little boy wrapped around a pillar on the front of a house, and he's an inch from the ground, and he is just losing his mind because he thinks he's about to, plummet to the bottom of the earth. Well, I don't know why that came out that way. Okay, Aquarius, this is an interesting message. Let's get into it. I think you get the feeling of what I'm saying. Wow, this is a lot. The 10 of Pentacles, the World, the Ace of Pentacles, the 2 of Swords, the Queen of Pentacles. This is a shit ton. However, I'm being asked to look behind me. What a weird message. Maybe you're what is that? I'm being asked to look behind me. So we have a lot of construction going on, and there was a construction worker extremely prepared as he's making his way to his job. There's something here about letting go of the fear of not controlling everything because the work you've done in preparation is enough. Ooh, this is great, Aquarius. Y'all are the best. Look, the Lovers on the bottom. The Lovers doesn't necessarily mean love. It means there's a choice. So there is a choice here to stop going back and forth between the pairs of opposites. Highly passionate and then kind of the opposite. I don't care about that any longer. I've lost, I don't know, any fucks to give, I guess. But here, to clarify this balance, if you do create balance, some of it, first of all, it's the very perfect time to do it now. And you can very easily do this by making a decision to not over control everything. Part of what I want to tell you about this There is an opportunity coming for you to allow something to unfold. But what's important is almost always we limit ourselves. So if we leave a little room for like the magic, you often have a better opportunity. That's what this is showing. It's also showing that giving up control is not going to limit your productivity in the world, in your job. Okay, let's go to the next one. There's a lot going on here. All right, so let's see what the challenge is. We're going to stick with the same deck. Interesting. Let's see what the challenge is for... That was weird. Okay, communication. Just as a reminder, you know, whatever you're worried about as far as this communication, okay, first of all, I'm getting for some of you, it's actual worry around communication and speaking your truth. And this kind of feels like you're changing your truth, right? And let me just assure you, what was once true is still true, but you can have a different truth. You can move toward, you know, growth, towards something else. That's okay. But for some of you, if that's not you, what I'm really getting here is I'm getting in general a withholding of communication, but for different reasons. So I feel like for some of you, you're not always as forceful with what you need and what you want. And for the rest of you that are withholding communication, it's more of there's a fear. So for both of you, just know that there is an element of protection there. The blue egg is a representation of something new that can begin. The egg is like the fool. The fool just jumps into things, sometimes haphazardly, but here, this looks like communication with people that you have a life with, whether it's at work or at home. Okay, let's look at this communication a little bit. The Queen of Cups, the Queen of Pentacles. There's a lot of queens here. Remember, this is not gender specific, so it doesn't necessarily mean that. This indication here is to really speak from your heart. My advice with this communication is to just say how you feel. And the problem is, for some of you, I think you want to tell someone something that will make you vulnerable. I think that's a small portion. But for the rest of you, if you're trying to be gentle with someone and you're holding a lot of the emotional weight, Spirit is telling you to not feel guilty about letting someone know how something makes you feel and the weight it holds on your heart and in your mind. So, for example, if you know somebody's struggling and let's say you're in a relationship with them and you start to have your own issues, but you don't want to add to theirs, Spirit is saying that is part of the challenge here. And often when we let our partner know we're struggling, they start to pick themselves up and then in turn can pick you up a little bit too. So don't act as if your emotional happiness is a burden, because it is not. Okay, this is interesting because I'm getting like double readings here. Tell me more about this communication as the challenge. It's not exactly saying your communication is challenged, although it could be, but it's more about right now in this situation, because it feels as if you're trying to control, in some of you a good way, and some of you you're just trying to control because you don't want to hurt, but some of you you're trying to control the situation to protect somebody else, but it's not really doing that is the problem. The Warrior, and it has that sword and it has the ram horns. To me, this is about speaking the truth because it needs to be done. But you can do it by, instead of saying, you're making me feel this way, you can say, currently, this is how I've been feeling. Got it? You don't have to point blame. Okay, so let's go ahead and see. I'm hearing something. There's something about you don't want to open a can of worms. You don't want to talk about the past. You just want to move forward. I mean, yeah, right? That's possible, but it's not. Oh, weird. So I'm getting really conflicting messages with y'all's reading, and I'm wondering, okay, here's part of the message that was very hard to decode. You know, when I read for air signs, y'all are so clever that the reading's really challenging to me, although I love doing it. I'm mostly water signs, so I mostly go through feeling, but here it's a lot of decoding mentally. This is part of this challenge, though. I feel like this person that you're dealing with, you're probably not decoding what you think you are properly. Sometimes, this isn't for all of you, but sometimes people need to be needed. And maybe that's really your worry, but that's really what they need. And so here it looks like you need the same things, actually. But when you try to control the outcome, it doesn't allow things to kind of flow naturally. You don't allow for your guides or spirit or however you look at it to intervene. What's the advice here, Spirit? Let's wrap this up. Very interesting reading, Aquarius. I expect nothing less from y'all. Honor your holy days. That's adorable. 37, it's a 10. A time to share. Aquarius, if I remember right, your last reading was talking about another person as well. That's adorable. And he has the infinity there, which for me is often a sign of neurodivergence, but it's also a sign of consistently learning, continuously allowing the mind to evolve. Honor your holy days. There's something about having some type of, you know, when I say this, I don't want you to get too kind of stuck in thought about it, which, you know, could be hard, but some type of ritualistic something to your life. So, you know, that could be religion, that could be working out or volunteering, I don't know. But it doesn't even have to be that serious. When I was in high school, I went to college half a day, and there was a little extra time in between, and I had to drive there, and I used to stop at this particular tea spot and have like their tea of the day because it was $1 and that's what I could afford. And so I would do that every day. And I have to tell you, there was something about the ritual of that and being alone and being in silence and having the comfort of knowing if the rest of the week, well, it was 3 days a week, 4 days a week, something like that. But if those other days, if shit went down, I had that. Right? I had that one thing. So for some people, it's Sunday morning. For some people, it's Friday night. But is there that one thing that you can reconnect with? I'm hearing weekly. I'm not sure why. Okay. Advice for Aquarius, please, Spirit. Tapas. Beautiful. Okay. There is something about putting energy behind yourself in a very personal way. This is not about work. Why do I keep getting messages for you that are behind me? There's something about broadening your perspective. About, okay, Aquarius, thank you. I finally decoded it. There's something about you not being present quite enough. When we don't have the right perspective, it's also because we're back here, we're in the past, or we're kind of leaning forward. What's coming next? What's in the future? And if you really want to know and you're not sure, sit down, just sit in a seat naturally, put your phone next to you and take like a sideways selfie, but make sure you just sit how you normally do. And you will either be forward or you will be back. Additionally, you can look on the bottom of your shoes. If your heels are wearing off, you're back. If the toes wear off and you always like break the shoe at the toe, you're forward. Where you need to be for your ultimate power, essentially. The only time you have power is in the present moment. So you have to be right in the middle. Incidentally, that's also how the chakras line up. We go a little forward, we go a little back. Energetically, we get stuck in one of those areas that have issues. Birth. It's that egg again. There's something new possible, and it's like a new perspective that can help to empower you. Okay, this is where I'm going to wrap up your message. Aquarius, I love y'all very much. What is happening here is Spirit is telling you with that Lovers on the bottom of the deck that you have a choice and the time is now, that you can pick a direction for what? For your neural pathways, for the way you see the world, for your mind. It's like it's either self-doubt and fear or moving on, knowing that life gets better and there's abundance available. It's a choice. So you have to understand that whatever we do consistently is what gets hardwired. And your mind, the more you think on those ideas of fear or self-doubt and hold back communication, the more that just unfolds, the more that becomes true in your own life. I would really, really recommend, just like Spirit said, looking for that little time every week that is just for you, that hopefully is quiet, don't take things in. And if at all possible, concentration and then meditation practice. When you have a strong mind like you have to understand you're not your mind. You need to be able to control it. Right? You are not, your mind is the hard drive. You're the energy that animates it. You're the power company. Without that, the computer isn't very helpful. So you need to be able to control your mind stuff. Okay, I could lecture on this all day. I hope this was helpful. Love y'all so much.